Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This time we're presenting the Gruul set and the red cards. See what we can find. First of all, we've got 5 Alarm Fire. Kind of an interesting one. Works best in Boros rather than Gruul. Really needs lots of attacking to build those counters up to make the best use of it. You're going to get that in Boros. You're lots of white weenies, you're going to get the damage in. It's going to be good. Gruul, it's going to take a little longer. Might not be worth a pick. If you're playing Boros though and you see this, definitely worth considering. Nice card all in all. Hellraiser Tyrant. So, unfortunately, you can ignore pretty much the majority of what this card actually says, because within this set, there's a total of something like 8 decent artifacts. You're going to see so few of them that it pretty much doesn't exist. On the other hand, it's a 6/5 flying trample for 6 mana, so it's not bad, especially once you start blood rushing it. If you see it, might be worth thinking about grabbing it. There's going to be some really interesting decks that come up for using this outside of draft, and I'm quite interested to see what happens there. In draft, it's a little bit more limited though. Hellraiser Goblin. Weird one. It's a 2/2 for 3. It's got a double-edged ability here though. Yes, everything you've got has haste, but because you have to attack every turn, you can't hold anything back for defense. True, both Boros and Gruul are aggressive decks, so aren't really going to be holding back for defense anyway, so it's probably a good card to play either way. The haste will work out quite nicely, and it will probably work quite nicely in both decks. Skullcrack. Quite a nice little nuke here. Instant burn is quite narrow in limited, reason being there's not enough burn to actually do anything, so it's really quite useful for finishing off players, getting that last bit of damage in after an alpha strike, that kind of thing. It's also useful against an Orzhov deck to stop them from life gaining. That's its main abilities. It's not too bad for 2 mana though, so it might be worth picking 1 or 2 up. Tin Street Market, don't use this, just don't. For 5 mana, it's not worth it, and draw a card, discard a card is not really something you want to be doing in either Boros or Gruul, so just don't bother. Just ignore it. Shanktail. It's a nice card. This is the kind of thing we're looking to see with Blood Rush. It's kind of awkward because you're looking at a mix of kind of giant growth mechanics, and then you're not sure whether you actually want the creature. 4 mana for a 3/1 first strike though is quite nice, and Blood Rush is quite decent. It's certainly worth picking up a few in the draft. Deciding when to Blood Rush and when to actually cast a creature, that's going to be the tough one sometimes. Now, this is your beast. This is a beast of a card. 9/9 for 8. Relatively decent, but at the same point, and with trample, but that Blood Rush can just do silly things. That Blood Rush can really make a massive difference. If you get that dragon previously and they've got no flyers, you Blood Rush this on top and you're doing stupid damage and they can't stop you. Very nice all round card. It is a rare, you're not going to see many of them, but it is a nice all round card. The Legendary. It's a nice card, but it's very expensive. It's got a high colour and mana commitment to it. If we were to pick it in a draft, we'd probably pass it, because it's just, as powerful as it is, it's a bit too expensive, and being that high on your mana curve, it's going to be hard to actually make decent use of. If you can find a way of using it though, feel free. It's a nice card, but it is kind of a bit difficult to use properly. Clan Defiance, on the other hand, is a really nice card. There's no complicated maths about how you split the X, it just does X damage to these 3 things. You're pretty much always going to be hitting 2, you're always going to hit the player, and you're pretty much always going to hit at least 1 creature, if not 2. It's a really nice card, definitely grab it if you see it, always worth using. Domri Raid is probably the best planeswalker we've got. Brilliant card, worth grabbing no matter what. It's got really nice ultimate, but we can't really judge planeswalkers by their ultimates because it doesn't happen very often. First two abilities though are very good. Top one, you get to see if you can find more creatures. It's very Gruul, get the creatures, get them out. Second one though is an ability that's very useful in Gruul. You buff a creature, you pick one of theirs, they fight. You can pick and choose what you want and just nuke whatever creatures are theirs you want. Just choose and shoot, and it's really useful. Definitely a card worth grabbing first point you see it. Declans Rampager, really nice card. The blood rush is so low to use it that you really don't know whether to actually cast it or blood rush it. It's a 4/4 for 4 with trample, which means that it's mana efficient either way, but blood rushing it for that cost is just amazing. So grab them, any of them you see, and then just use them to power stuff up to really get the damage in. Ground Assault is a great early, mid and late game card. Early game you might need to do a few damage, but you're only facing off against small creatures. Late and mid game, big creatures. You're always going to get a kill out of this. For 2 mana, to always get a removal, it's worth doing. It's really a good card, and there's not enough nice things we can say about this card really. Just get it. Rubble Hulk is the general that you get for Gruul. It's the one that comes as part of the pre-release. It's a bit weird. The +X/+X for the blood rush makes you think it's not that amazing, but it's pretty good. It's always going to be a reasonable creature, and really the question comes down to whether you blood rush it or actually save up the mana to cast it. It's plausible to be used for both, but the fact that you can get one big creature out and then blood rush it for +X really makes a big difference late game, so it's a good card to keep for the flexibility. Scar Guild Mage. Return to Ravnica was all about 3 power dudes. It seems that we're now all about 4 power. It's a good, solid 2 mana, 2/2 Guild Mage. The main thing about this one though is going to be to give all your creatures trample. We're talking about big creatures here. Giving everything trample is going to be great. Yes, you can turn your land into elementals, but let's be honest, you really don't want to be risking your land too often. That's really for when you're at that point in the game when you're ready to do a massive alpha strike. It's a good all-round card, and we're drafting, so you're going to be picking your guild mages no matter what. The Swine. Again, it's a reasonable card. It's a standard vanilla blood rush, 3 mana for a +5/+4. That's good mana efficiency there. It's also a 5/4 creature, so it's a solid creature. It fits at both low and high end of your mana curve, so it's a good card all round. So definitely worth getting. Burning Tree Emissary. It's a really nice card. The mana curve on this means you can cast it really easily, and it's free. It gives you its mana back. It's a 2/2 for 2. You cannot go wrong with these. Just pick them up. They're really useful, and it keeps you going, doesn't slow you down, so grab them. Rubble Belt Raiders has to be one of the better cards as well, purely because even this card works so well in both Boros and Gruul. You're going to be attacking with both decks every turn if you can. It's going to grow really quickly. On a Boros deck, it will grow massive really fast. Gruul deck might be a little slower, but it will still grow really massive. It's easy to cast, it's cheap, it's a 3/3, it's worth grabbing. It's a good rare, good solid rare, and it will you cast this and then feed it with Bloodlust, and you'll be getting a lot of damage. We're seeing this ability again for 2 mana. It's going to be great. It's got the flexible cost, so it can go in quite a few different decks. It is a very nice card. You could pick this for Simic, Boros, and Gruul, and it wouldn't look out of place in any of them. It's a very nice card. As a common, just grab 4. Just don't even question it, just grab them. The key room, again, we're drafting here, so you're going to be picking up your key runes no matter what. This one, it's very Gruul, trample. So 3-2, you are risking it slightly, but you can blood rush it to do interesting things with it, and trample just gets a damage in. It's a guild gate. I don't think we need to say any more than that, really. You're going to get them. This Shockland probably has the worst out of all the Shocklands, but it's still a Shockland. So if you see it, grab it. They're great in draft, they're great out of draft. Just grab it. The Gruul Charm is a bit of a weird one. Only 2 out of the 3 abilities on the Gruul Charm are actually going to be used very often. The middle one, the you gain control of all permanents you own, isn't going to happen very often because there is very rare that you actually see the steal abilities. We've seen a couple already, but there's not many of them and you're not going to come up against them very often. So it's not really something that you really need. The other 2 abilities are very useful. Creatures without flying can't block, really locks down your opponent for when you're going in for an alpha strike, very useful. Or nuking all flyers, again, very useful for kind of stopping them from poking you with their flyers. It's a charm, you're going to get it either way. Grab it, use it, but unfortunately it's just not quite as flexible as the other ones. Slaughterhorn. It's your small giant growth. It's +3/+2. For 1 mana, that's really good. It's a 3/2 for 3 mana, again, quite good. It's a common, so you're going to see quite a few of them. Grab them, use them. Again, as with most blood rushes, trying to work out the best time to actually use it as a creature and when to blood rush it is going to be the complicated thing, but it's worth grabbing. Molten Primordial is a bit weird. The other avatars all seem to have much better abilities. This one seems to be the weakest. It is going to be the best used in a draft or a limited format because you only have 1 opponent, but it's still not amazing. Does very much, it's very situational on what your opponent's got, seeing if there's anything good. Sometimes great, but because there's not that many sacrifice abilities, you can't just grab something and then kill it. You have to throw it at them. So it is only a little bit of an extra damage, really, unless they've got something with a really nice ability. It's interesting, but not necessarily a first pick. The Gruul Rage Beast. Now this thing is disgusting. It's a 6/6 for 7, which sounds about right, but the fact that when it comes into play, it's got that one-on-one fight ability. But not just that, every time you then cast a creature, you can do the same thing, which means that every single turn you could then throw down a weenie and have this 6/6 go and slap one of their creatures. And you can do that all the time, and it's really good to just keep their board locked down and keep them with low creatures. Very nice creature, and just keeps your opponent locked down. Signal Declans. It's cheap for what it does. It's a bit of a gamble. It's like the old style tutor cards. It's not amazing, and as a rare, it's not necessarily your first pick, but it's still going to be good to be able to go find your 3 best creatures and know that you're definitely going to get one. Especially with the way the Blood Rush works, you're not necessarily actually looking for a creature, you're looking for a creature and a spell. So you've got more flexibility there. Active Treason. So we've seen this in RTR, we had a similar red card back there. It's good to, again, be able to steal one of their creatures, charge it in with haste. It's useful, cool. Because we don't have much sacrifice abilities, there's not as much use out of it, but when we're being aggressive, and especially if they've got something with avoidance, grabbing and throwing, always fun. Cinderella Elemental. It's a reprint from Acadian Masks. It's a 2/2 with Blaze tacked on. It's good in its way. It's a little underpowered, only being 2/2 for 4 mana, but you're going to be using the Fireball ability out of it anyway, so it's cool. Not necessarily something that you want lots of because of that high mana cost, but certainly something worth picking 1 or 2 up. Now, Crackling Perimeter is an interesting card because in general it's a nice card because mid to late game you can then use your guild gates to snipe with. But as we discussed before, guild gates in a draft are a lot harder to come by, so therefore in a draft scenario it might not be the best card to pick. It's a bit of an odd one. It is uncommon, it is cheap, so it might be reasonable to pick up, but at the same point it's certainly not a first pick. Ember Beast. Now Ember Beast is a bit of an odd creature. It's one of those deliberately undercosted creatures because it's got a drawback. It is useful in both Boros and Gruul. It will get in the mix of your attacks and actually be useful. It's not that great early game because you can't chump block with it very easily. So you have to be kind of careful with it there, but especially in a Boros deck, as long as you're attacking every turn, you'll be fine. Foundry Street Denizen. Bit of a weird one. To be honest, probably a little more Boros than it is Gruul, because you are going to run out of red creatures quite quickly, and to be perfectly honest, it has the weakest ability of the lot. +1/+0 on a 1/1 isn't amazing, and it is going to die quite quickly. On the other hand, it is a 1/1 for 1 mana, so it's not necessarily going to hurt to grab a few of them in the draft because they're going to be cheap commons to throw around, low mana curve. Why not? Furious Resistance. Again, back with a Boros theme. It's another great card that goes on to Guardian of the Gateless. Unfortunately, that's about its only good use. Both Gruul and Boros are aggressive. You don't want to be holding back. You don't want a defensive card like this. It's not something that you're really going to get a lot of use out of, because the idea of both decks is to be really aggressive and just beat down, beat down, beat down, and get it done. So, might not be the best card, might not be the most used, probably fits better into an Orzhov deck that's splashed red for removal. Homing Lightning. A card that's going to be a bit weird in draft, but might have better place elsewhere. It's really good against tokens, something we saw a lot more of in RTR, but because you're drafting, you don't tend to see that many duplicates, so it might not see massive use. It is going to be very useful in other situations, and even if against, let's say, a Boros deck with the token generation or against other things, maybe. Bit of an odd one though, probably worth picking up, but not worth trying to pick up 4 off. Madcap Skills. Both the art and the name sound like it should probably be an Unglued, but it's a really nice looking card all in all. Unfortunately, again, it is an enchant creature, and we don't like enchant creatures because they're 2-for-1s. It's not terrible though. It does have its benefits because you throw it onto a big creature and you're guaranteeing that they get blocked by 2 things. If you can throw it on something with Death Touch, you're guaranteeing to kill 2 creatures. It has its uses, but it is going to draw out some removal quite easily. So we would rather use an extra creature rather than using this. Mark of Death. Now Mark of Death we are likely to see a lot of play out of, and you are likely to see a lot of people killed with it. It's brilliant. You just find their weakest creature, choose that one, and then charge. It's brilliant to just steamroll an opponent. It's your Tramplers, your Blood Rush, use this. Very good for both Boros and Gruul, more Gruul than Boros I guess, but it is a very, very nice card. I would try and get as many as you can in a draft because it's just going to make for some really nice attacks. Massive Raid, again we've got another removal. Yes, you're going to play it in draft and it's going to be quite nice in draft to be honest. It's really best in Boros rather than Gruul. Boros, you have lots of weenies, you throw this down and you do a load of damage. It can even be to the point where you actually nuke your opponent quite hard with this. It's worth grabbing 3 or 4 in a Boros deck to be honest if you can draft them. Maybe a couple in a Gruul deck. They're nice cards all round for a cheap little nuke. Even if it is just a cheap little nuke, it's quite good. So it's worth grabbing. Mugging. Now, Muggin's an odd one because again it's something with two different parts to it, one part which is almost virtually useless. Mugging really needs to be used to kill things. More than anything else, it needs to turn a block into a lethal swing or nuke something small. You don't really want to use it to stop something from blocking. Very rarely. Only if we're dealing with something with death touch or something like in that kind of situation. Most times you need to use it to kill something. It is, on the other hand, cheap and common, so you probably will pick up a few of them in the draft. Why not? Ripscale Predator, lovely Gruul card. It's a big, stonking creature that has to be blocked by multiple things. You can then blood rush it, do silly things with it, or you can use it to just keep your opponent under control. It's great. Good card to keep, good card to get as many of them as you can. Nice size creature. Scorch. Now, this is one of those cards that's very unlikely to actually be cast as a creature, most likely to be blood rushed. 3 mana for +5/+1, really nice. You wait till you're sure you can get something in, you pump it, get extra damage in. 4 mana for a 5/1 sounds okay, but it's really weak. All it needs is just to be sniped out and it's gone. Not really the best, but still worth picking a good few up on a draft because they're commons. Hellraiser Goblin. It's a 2/1 for 2. It's going to be early played for nuking. Maybe late in the game you might want to use the blood rush on it, but it's an early creature just to get some early damage in. You can use the battalion on it, so it can go quite well in a Boros deck, but it is primarily Gruul. Structure Collapse. Just don't play it. 6 mana, don't play it. The opponent's always going to choose their weakest stuff, and 2 damage to the opponent is just not enough damage. Just don't do it. It's not worth the hassle. Wrecking Ogre. Now this is a really nice card. 5 mana for a 3/3 with double strike. It's good on its own, does a lot of damage. Blood Rush on the other hand, again still 5 mana, but giving something double strike is mad. You choose one of those 7 power creatures, cast this on it, it's suddenly a 10 power creature with double strike. And you are laughing, because that is a silly amount of damage. So, very, very nice creature. Well worth picking up if you get the opportunity. Disciple of the Old Ways. It's a bear. It's a 2/2 for 2 mana. Yes, can get first strike, but it's not much special. But it's still one of the best 2-drops in a Gruul deck. It's certainly worth picking up maybe 4 of. They're commons, they're worth grabbing. Just use them. Scabclang Charger. It's a survival blood rush, which you don't see many of. +2/+4. Cool. Again, whether you cast it or whether you blood rush it's another question. It's probably worth to cast it just for a blocker. But do remember, obviously, it's not a giant spider. You're not going to be able to deal with flies. Wasteland Viper. Something that the Gruul wants, definitely. You see this, you grab them, everyone. Death Touch. On its own, Death Touch, great. But the fact that you can blood rush Death Touch onto things, especially when you combine that with stuff where you have to be blocked by 2 creatures, brilliant. Really nice card, good damage, and don't forget as well that Death Touch only needs to deal 1 damage to cause the effect. So when you trample, you only need to do 1 damage to the creature you're trampling. So very nice there. Frenzied Tilling. Normally in limited or draft we don't see a lot of land removal used. This one's actually quite nice because you do destroy a land, and of course with the land enchantments that can be quite useful. And then on top of that, you then draw land yourself. So it benefits in both sides. It's kind of nice, not necessarily something to jump up and down about, but still kind of nice. Primal Visitation. Same with any other enchant, it's a 2 for 1. But +3/+3 is quite useful. Ignore the haste on it, because by the time you get to 5 mana, you're pretty much up to bigger creatures anyway. You're not likely to actually get to use the haste. it is just a late game creature buff. It's just useful to turn a bigger creature even bigger and just get more damage in. Ruination Worm. It's a standard vanilla worm. You grab them because they're common, you grab them because they're big creatures. They're the kind of thing that Gruul likes to then blood rush. Cool. There's not much to say about them, just grab a few, see how you go. That's it for Gruul, and we'll be back again for the next one.